Hello and welcome to my first ever YouTube vlog. My name is Alice Bell. For anyone who is new here, I'm a full-time astrologer. I've been a full-time astrologer for about 6 years now, and I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. And I honestly never thought I would be starting a YouTube channel. Like, being on camera and sharing so much of my life is something that's scary to me. But recently, over the past couple of months, I have been thinking more about like, how can I share more of myself and get more creative with the way I talk about astrology, or just like, I don't know, I just kind of wanted more of like a creative outlet where I could share more about myself that wasn't so one-dimensional. The way I've been showing up on Instagram recently like isn't really how I want to be. It feels like I'm kind of boxed in and I can only talk about horoscopes and what certain transits mean for what sign. It's like I don't know if this is pressure I'm putting on my own self or other people feel this about my content, but it's like this pressure to always be talking about what transit means what for each sign, and putting that into a 90-second reel or an Instagram grid post. And it's just not how I use astrology in my own life. These short social media content things that I see a lot of on social media, they just don't allow for like discussion and nuance. And I feel like you're not able to see how astrology really plays out in someone's life. And that's what I want to do here on this YouTube. I don't want it to be teaching so much or making predictions. You can listen to my podcast, go to my Substack. Both are called Astrology with Alice for that type of information. This is more like, this is who I am as a person. This is how I use astrology in my own life, and relating my own experiences and sharing them in the hopes that maybe it resonates with you and you can better understand how to use astrology as a tool. I also want to talk about like what it's like running my own business, or what my day-to-day schedule looks like working for myself alone all day. How do I stay on task? What's my writing process like? Like those types of more fun activities, in my opinion. I just wanted to create the type of content that I enjoy consuming. So expect that type of content on this channel with astrology chats thrown in. Also, I'm a Leo rising, and I think this is a trait shared across the board for Leo risings. I feel like there's this misconception that Leo is a super confident sign, and that if you have that in your chart, that means you're just super comfortable putting yourself out there. You want all the attention to be on you. But as a Leo rising, I feel a bit differently. It's more like I want to be noticed and appreciated and seen, but at the same time, I fear criticism and I fear attention so much that it makes it hard for me to put myself out there. And that may also be because I have Chiron in the first house close to the ascendant. So it's a lot of like insecurity with self and that type of thing. So honestly, this YouTube is me facing my fears and not caring about criticism about me sharing my life. It's just something I've wanted to do for so long, but this fear of like what other people may think has held me back in this way. So the other month I just kind of had a revelation of other people's opinions don't really matter. That's what's been on my mind recently. I think this has a lot to do with the Mars retrograde that is coming up in the sign of Leo. If you'll recall, the last time we had like a fixed sign Mars retrograde was actually the summer of 2018. And that was a Mars retrograde that started in Aquarius and backtracked into Capricorn. So it shares a lot of the same parallels that the Mars retrograde that's starting in Leo backtracking into Cancer does. And back in that summer of 2018 with that Mars retrograde in Aquarius, as an Aquarius sun, that was a huge one for me, realizing I could do astrology full time, and kind of the whole trajectory of what I shared and how I thought about myself changed in that summer of 2018. And now that the Mars retrograde's returning to that similar part of my chart, it's like exactly opposite to my sun now, and then also affecting my first house of Leo. I feel a new change coming on. I feel like a new cycle starting of I want to be seen differently and I want to express myself in this new way. So if you are Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo placements and you're kind of feeling similarly, especially if those are like your sun or rising, strap in and hold on. This retrograde is going to be huge for us coming up this winter. It starts in early December and ends in late February of 2025. With all that being said, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. This week we've got a lot planned. I have a full moon in Aries event that I'm doing with the brand Rixo tomorrow, Wednesday the 16th, because we have the full moon in Aries happening on the morning of the 17th. So I'm hosting this event at Rixo's new store in Soho, and I will be bringing you guys along, vlogging my first ever event. But yeah, let's go. Okay, so first I want to show you the two dress options that I have to wear tonight. Both are by Rixo. Basically how this works, like kind of walking you through brand deals and a portion of how I make money as an astrologer. I will often do events with fashion or beauty brands where I go and I either give readings to people who have been invited to that event by the brand, or in the case of something like tonight, I've taken the time to prepare questions and kind of a syllabus, I guess, for the full moon in Aries, and then taking audience questions of people who show up to the event. So in this case, I had a rate set for the event and Rixo didn't have the exact budget to match that rate, but they offered to give me 2 items of gifting off their website, and then also we agreed on like a bit of a lower rate for me. So yeah, that's how things work sometimes. I get free product, which is great because my money would have probably been spent on clothes anyways, because I'm obsessed with shopping. So we got these 2 dresses. This one, you can't really see them that well in this light, but this is a black velvet mini and then an animal print dress. I'm gonna try them both on, see what you think. Okay, so this is the animal print one. I don't know if you can see full body. You can't. It's pretty cute. So this is option number 1. And then this is option number 2. Just got that. It's like a mini. It's got this nice velvet embroidery on black velvet. I think I will probably go with this one and do some black tights and then also my black patent Mary Jane. Okay, I'm gonna do my makeup and skincare stuff for the event. I've just kind of been hanging out all day because I've known I have to get ready for this, and I didn't want to get ready too early because I don't want to have a ton of makeup on my face all day. So yeah, let's chat. Today has not been the easiest. I didn't sleep well last night. I've kind of fallen into this pattern, and it started back on my birthday in January of this past year, of getting really anxious at bedtime and then not sleeping. So I've had kind of insomnia on and off for the past 10 months now, and it's like the most frustrating thing. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And I use Caudalie Eye and Face. Like, this is the best. I love this brand. But yeah, anyways, I've had insomnia on and off for the last 10 months. It's been awful, and it spikes up a lot. I've started to notice it spikes up a lot when there's an event that I have to do, and in the couple, well, honestly, like few days, it's been like 4 nights now that I haven't really been sleeping well in the lead up to this event. It's like I get very in my head about having to show up somewhere and how I'm like needed at that event, and it just gets really hard to relax and fall asleep at night. So I think I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep today, which is not fun, and it always just makes me super emotional that I just can't control my body. If it doesn't want to sleep, it doesn't sleep, and it's so frustrating. But I took some Advil, and I think We should be okay. I'm starting to feel a little better. I've tried to just go easy on myself today. Just like doing this creative vlog. It's a lot of fun. Okay, now I'm putting on some foundation. I've recently bought this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. This is actually like the first foundation I've ever owned because I was like, if I'm gonna show up and be on camera and like start filming my podcasts and making vlogs, like I kind of need to take makeup a bit more seriously. So that's been a big third house transit for me. It's like Libra season when I'm recording this, and Libra is my third house and my two skills, because third house transits are a lot about learning new skills that are really practical in your everyday life. My two skills have been learning how to edit videos for YouTube and learning how to do makeup more properly. Okay, I stopped recording because I had to be focused and quiet, but here's the finished product in better light. Okay, cute. These are the shoes. Little Mary Janes from Augusta, the brand. Okay. We are officially off, and I'll recap the event tomorrow. Okay, I'm here at Rixo. We're preparing for the event. This is Daniela. She runs the astrology account, The Cosmic Latte. Definitely follow her and get readings from her if you want one. She's amazing. She's gonna be interviewing me tonight.
Can't wait.
Okay, let's come on inside. Time for the event. Okay, thought I'd do a little recap with how the event went. It went so well. I'm honestly mad at myself that I didn't get sleep for a lot of nights before the event, because then the event comes and passes and it's always a good time. And it's like, why did I get so mentally worked up about this thing? So going into the next one of these that I do, I'm definitely gonna try to have more of a calm mindset and know that everything's gonna turn out okay. And people are coming to this event because they love astrology, and it was really fun to talk about the full moon. And we also got into topics like Saturn returns, synastry aspects, composite charts. What else did we talk about? A lot of career timing, career changes, and touched a little bit upon major transits happening in 2025. And I do want to do more in-person events in general, because it's nice to just see people in person, and they'll tell me like their Instagram username and I'm like, oh my God, I DM you all the time, but I never knew what you looked like. So that's my next goal, is to figure out how to do more in-person, like community building type things, and maybe in the next few months, next year. I do want to talk a bit about how these brands find me to work with me and how I get these opportunities as an astrologer. It has a lot to do with, before I quit my job to pursue astrology full-time in January 2019, I used to work as a fashion assistant at Vogue, and a big part of that job was connecting with brands, emailing them constantly, asking them for clothing samples, to see their new collections, so that we would know as a team what clothing would look the best when we had a shoot coming up, and like calling in that clothing. So maintaining those relationships was a big part of what I did in that role as a fashion assistant. And so when I left my job to be a full-time astrologer, people that knew me from Vogue, the people I had been working with and the brands they represented, they heard about that career change that I was doing, and they reached out asking to do events. Like, okay, we need an astrologer. come do readings for us? Or do you want to do this astrology text for products on our website? So it was very helpful having that background already in fashion and knowing people when I made the transition to work for myself. So like in the case of Rixo, I wrote an article back in 2017 for Vogue when they were first starting their brand, and I had seen someone wear one of the dresses on Instagram, and I was like, I love this brand so much. It is like everything, the colors, the prints, the retro aesthetic. So I asked to interview them for a piece on Vogue, and that really helped their career in the beginning. And I've remained in contact with the founders of the brand over the last, I guess, 7 years or so now. They always keep me in mind when something astrology related pops up, which is really nice of them. So kind of maintaining those relationships over time and having that leg up because I had the background in fashion to begin with was very helpful when I first started my career. But yeah, that's kind of something I want to be more open about on this channel. And I want to thank you if you're here till the end watching this. Feel free to comment about more topics you would want me to talk about in regards to like how I run my own business, what it looks like being a full-time astrologer, that type of thing, because I love talking about work and how people get to certain areas in their career. That's just something I'm really passionate about. Okay, that's it for this week. I'm gonna go write my horoscopes for next week now. I always do them on Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, and then they go up Tuesday morning on British Vogue's website. So I make sure to read those, and I will see you back here next time.